What's up, guys? My name is Nolan Anselmi,
And I'm Kerrys.
and today we have a very special guest on Last Free Souls the Experience. It's actually my mom today. And Mom, just to hop right into things, do you want to briefly give yourself an introduction and kind of let the viewers know what you do for a living?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Kerry. I am Nolan's mom. But years ago, I was a kindergarten teacher, and I got into a network marketing business called Isogenics, and so it's a health and wellness business that very much spoke to me because it has a lot of education in it, but there were things that I was so tired of. I made $1,700 a month as a teacher with a master's, and I was tired of having a cap on my income, but I didn't know how to break out of that, and I was also tired of having a cap on my time freedom. And again, I didn't know how to break out of that. And so 7 years ago, when this nutrition was shared with me, I knew that that was the key. I knew that I could do something with it, and I don't know how I knew, I just knew. And I didn't question it. So that's how I got into it.
Awesome. I love that. That's really cool. I'm glad that you could share that with the audience. You know, that's something maybe some people don't like to share, especially the income aspect of it. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. To kind of, I guess, build off that a little bit, what created your spark to step out of the teaching world into being an entrepreneur and a business owner? And what exactly from that change or doing that change kind of give you the drive and passion to like motivate you to do that?
It's a great question. So what gave me the spark is what I already touched on, just wanting that income. I don't want a ceiling on my income. So, and as a woman, it was extremely important to me to be able to make whatever income that I chose to. And I couldn't do it in a place that had a cap on my income. So that was really, really what gave me the spark. And what keeps me motivated is that I really had to dig in and do a lot of personal development, and skill set, learn some skills, but I could make money while I was doing those things. And in the process, I was making such a big difference for people. And what really started to fuel things for me was the fact that if I could speak openly about my income, my mindset, which wasn't serving me at the time, definitely not, I surrounded myself with very driven, positive, motivated people that were successful. And being around them, they challenged my thinking. They reflected what I was saying. They reflected what I was doing that wasn't serving me. And in the process, I just refused to be unhappy. And so I really stepped up and I really started taking ownership of what it was that I needed to do. I could see it was me and only me that could change everything. So being able to turn around and work with other women, mostly in my industry, there are a lot of men, but there's more women for whatever reason in this specific industry, but none of us come into the industry without some challenges in our mindset and challenges around finances and challenges around network marketing or just business in general. So it's beautiful to be able to take my experience and help other people. It's about empowering other people.
Absolutely.
So it just wakes me up. It gets me out of bed every day. Seriously, it's the best part about what I do.
Absolutely. I mean, I love that. That is what an entrepreneur looks for. I mean, that's what someone who goes on that path wants to eventually find is, that passion to do it every single day when they hop out of bed. So I love that. But to kind of touch on what you were just talking about, and go a little bit deeper, you know, what kind of does your day look like or your week look like, as in you going about inspiring people and connecting with the people that you connect with? Because I mean, I see you putting out content all the time on social media, so you want to kind of run us and the audience through how you go about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I get up in the morning, it's usually 5 o'clock, sometimes 6 o'clock, but most of the time it's an early morning, and I start out with meditation for about 15 minutes just so I can get in a good place. And then I dig into personal development. So I do some kind of reading or audio listening and just really fill my head with the great stuff and challenge my own thinking. And then I spend about a half hour working in a journal and figuring out like long-term goals and monthly goals and daily goals. And so that's how I start my morning. And then I always get a workout in at some point because I'm pretty tired of sitting at that point. And then I really get to work on Facebook. Facebook is a big platform for me, and LinkedIn I've touched upon at times, and that also is a powerful place. But then I get out into the community so that I'm meeting people and just really connect with organizations and volunteering, so people have an opportunity to get to know me a little bit differently that I haven't been exposed to. And it's just beautiful because in that process I'm giving and I'm not expecting anything, but then I develop these incredible relationships with really successful people. So it's pretty typical for me to be working at 9 o'clock at night, and then I'm toast. I am done, you know, but it just makes me really happy, you know, to be doing what I'm doing.
That's
and I
the
didn't
grind,
have.
though. That's the love.
It is.
Right?
It is. I don't even feel like I'm working.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the best part.
That is the best part, because that's what happens when you do something you love.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It just seems like a day goes by and you're like, wow, I had so much fun today. Wait, was I even really working?
Exactly.
That's how I feel a lot of the time.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's so true. Yeah.
100%. Well, you being, you know, Nolan's mom, you kind of watching us kind of start this from the beginning. I mean, I'm sure there's absolutely no way you couldn't know that Nolan was trying to start a company.
Yeah.
But I know you've seen him grow as a person, you know, him especially, but what do you think that some of the things that, you know, how he's grown and how this business has grown is a little bit unique, and maybe something that, you know, you've noticed about us and how we do things that maybe you want to share with the audience or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of a fun thing. I love even thinking about it because, first of all, Nolan has been a visionary since the time he was a little kid. The ideas were flowing, and it was like, Mom, I'm doing this, and Mom, I have a new idea. I'm doing this, and you know, and at first I just thought, wow, that's exhausting. But as I started to have an understanding about entrepreneurship, and as I got into it, and of course I'm surrounded by a family of entrepreneurs, all of a sudden I recognized that what Nolan was coming up with constantly were all these just visions, you know, these entrepreneurial visions, and putting them into action. The thing I've always noticed about him, and you too, Dakota, is that you guys aren't afraid to make mistakes. You put yourselves out there. You're, you know, positive. You're making an impact, you know, with people by what you're doing. And I think, you know, what I see is that you dig into the personal development parts, and it shows up when you're out there talking to people, because you're really representing a generation of people that have an understanding that you guys can create a different path, you know.
Absolutely.
And so, but you have to own it, and you guys own it, and that's really powerful.
Awesome. Well, I mean, we definitely appreciate that 100%. to kind of touch on that, I mean, you really explain kind of what we do with the company, even and who we are as individuals. So that's kind of what a last free soul is, and that's kind of what we're trying to promote. And I definitely see you as a last free soul. I know Nolan does 100%, but how would you see yourself as a last free soul? I mean, I definitely know you exude those consistent qualities that we have. So
Yeah. So a last free soul, just on this is a powerful question actually. So I have all these thoughts coming into my head right now. But when I was a little kid, I always felt different. Really different. Like I didn't fit, but yet I fit, if that makes sense. It's not like I was rejected or anything like that. I just felt different. So that really started to make sense to me when I found my health and wellness business. Because all of a sudden I was talking with a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, and that was a common thing. I've just always been different. And now I finally feel like I fit, you know?
yeah.
So that's how I see myself. And when I started really embracing that and moving forward, and just, that's where the personal development came in. You know, just really being able to dig in and say, who am I as a person? And why am I so afraid to say it? Because that was the old me. Because I felt different, or I felt unworthy. But now it's not like that. I embrace it. I understand I'm worthy. I understand other people are worthy. And it's not about like winning, because winning means at the cost of someone else. And we can all go to this place. And we can all be in this place of success and empowerment and supporting each other. So it's really beautiful. And now I'm starting to see that, you know, everybody, there's a lot of people that feel different. And it's just awesome.
Yep.
But they don't know, some of them don't know
Yeah.
that it's just awesome.
How liberating it is.
They're thinking it sucks, you know, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So I hope that answers your question.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
definitely. Honestly, I'd have to agree with that too. Ever since I was a little kid, you know, I'd have, especially elementary school and middle school, I had super, you know, cliche groups, and I'd always hop between, you know, another one, a different one, but I always had this solid group of friends. And, you know, that's always like the, you know, two or three people I always hung out with. But in school, I'd bounce all over the place, you know. And I mean, after getting into doing network marketing, when I started doing my own, you know, business venture, entrepreneur mind, I definitely found out, I was like, maybe I was just weird, but that's a good thing. If you're weird, you're not normal.
100%.
Actually, no, I should say if you're weird, you are normal, in my opinion.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's really a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
To embrace that uniqueness, because we all have it. And it just takes listening to whatever your intuition says on the inside of you or me. We have to be 100% in alignment with that.
Yep.
And that's what makes us different. But so many people have this disconnect where they hear that internal talk and that intuition saying, don't do it, and they don't listen.
Yep.
Or they don't say what they're thinking. And that's the part that has started to shift everything for me, is listening. Not and saying and making decisions based on what that internal sense is, instead of what I think other people might want or what they might want me to say. So, and for me, it's different for everybody, but for me, that's really how it happened, you know, the awareness that I developed about myself.
Yeah, well, I would agree with you. I mean, I think that, that little voice in your head, it can be your best friend, so.
It sure can, but you have to stay in charge of it,
Yep,
right?
yeah,
And
yep.
so I don't watch the news, I don't read the newspaper, I don't surround myself with negative people. I surround myself with really positive, driven, successful people that aren't afraid to be super upfront with me. And I will be exactly the same with other people.
That's great.
I love that. I love that you've given so many examples and stuff from, just mindset and personal development in general. But is there maybe one big taking point or giving point, I should say, that you would want to share with the audience? Maybe like give them a piece of advice for maybe some things that have worked that you've done and some things that haven't worked in your entrepreneurial journey or even life journey.
Mm-hmm. So I think we were just talking about this before we even started filming, but just really looking at mistakes as an opportunity to just figure out what you want to do differently.
Mm-hmm.
How is this that what am I gonna change next time to improve on this? And so when I was a kindergarten teacher, I would always tell my students, it's okay to make mistakes. You're not learning if you don't make mistakes. But yet when I started as an entrepreneur, I was super afraid to make mistakes because I thought I would look stupid or that I was gonna put myself out there and fall flat on my face. But of course it makes sense when you think about that I was concerned about what other people would think.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest thing that I would recommend to people is just make mistakes. You can't get better if you don't put yourself out there, and it's just, it takes practicing it and doing it, and you look at the people that make it look easy, they had to start out looking really ridiculous, and they'll say it too.
Yep.
And you just have to do the do's and keep plugging away and make it happen and make adjustments, and that's what you do. It's always focusing on the solution and what is it that I'm looking forward to and how am I going to create this and what is going to look different this time.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about just taking action and knowing that you're taking one step towards where you're going.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The last question we'll ask you today, just for the viewers specifically, is where can they find your journey? I mean, you're posting inspirational stuff all the time, so I'm sure they would love to get in on some of the stuff that you're posting.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So if you want to follow me, I'm on Facebook at Kerry Johnson Anselmi, and I do. I try, to really think about who I am as a person, and coming from that authentic place, because even though you're on a screen looking through Facebook, you always sense the authenticity in someone's post, and that's what I strive to do. So whether it's personal development level or entrepreneurship or just something funny, because we all need to keep things lighthearted, I'd love to have you, and just come on, friend request me, or follow me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kerry. Definitely appreciate it. I know Nolan does for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
But thank you guys if you're tuning in on our podcast. Thank you guys for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, on Facebook, we want to thank you guys so much. We will be bringing you guys another episode here very soon with another interview. Thank you guys.